Bar City, the place to be. Laughs and madness, wild and free. Tune in now, let the good vibes flow. Bar City, your favorite show.
Welcome back to Bar City, episode 87. I'm Eric.
Kevin.
That was a long pause.
Was it?
You, yeah, you kind of went, I said my name, and all of a sudden you're just like, I'm Kevin.
Oh, I feel like I did it like normal.
I was going to say, you can forget your name?
I'm always forgetting my name.
Right. So, how was your weekday weekend?
Um, Not bad actually. It was actually pretty productive for once. Usually on the week my weekend, I'm usually like I'm either sleeping or just kind of watching YouTube or watching shows or something. I don't really do anything much. I mean, I do
Hmm.
bare basic like stuff I have to do, like get my laundry done and stuff like that, but beyond that, I don't really do anything.
Yeah.
And but I was actually decently productive. I did a few extra things around the apartment. I didn't really nap or sleep other than my normal sleep schedule that much at all. And then I got a lot of stuff done for my game and all that good stuff. So yeah, went pretty well.
Yeah, my week has been uneventful. Our Wi-Fi went out, so I've been sitting here without Wi-Fi. I'm using the hotspot on my phone just to record this video.
Yeah.
So if it
Oh yeah,
cuts
I did.
out at any
Yeah.
points, because, well, it's
Yeah, I
hotspot.
didn't even think of that. That y'all still don't have Wi-Fi right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I was tempted to text, be like, hey, I can't do it. But so far, my mobile hotspot is stable enough. So might as well record the episode.
Yeah. To be honest with you, I was tempted to text you the same thing because I was so freaking tired. So I was just like, hey, I don't think I can do it. But once I woke up for a few minutes, I was like, no, I think I'll be all right. So I was like, I was just being a baby.
We're the same. Like, my mobile hotspot's good enough. I could do it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just something this week has got me just not in a lot of good moods. Like,
Yeah.
oh, and I had nothing in my bag to talk about today.
Oh yeah.
It's
You
just been
better think
that
of
kind
something.
of week. Didn't even have anything in my bag ready to talk about.
Yeah, you better think of something on the fly right now. Go.
Uh, yeah, totally. I'm just gonna like completely think of something off the top of my head.
Yeah, just pull something
I
out of
mean,
your
I've done
back
that
pocket.
plenty of times, but like, but no, like I mean, honestly, there's nothing circles of information.
Circles of information.
A little bit of stuff that I look into constantly or read constantly.
Yeah.
Nothing that's really good enough for the podcast. It's just basic bitch stuff. Hmm. Jeez. Long quiet. Apparently you don't have anything either.
Well, I never have anything. Well,
Well, I guess I
sometimes.
technically do have something. I mean, I finally watched the Terrifier,
You watched what?
the Terrifier movies.
Oh, all of them?
Art the Clown.
Yeah. All three of them?
Yeah, I watched one, two, and three.
Yeah.
Yep.
The only one I haven't seen is the
I
third
got
one.
home one. Yeah, I got home one day and we finished that one yesterday. It was the first, and my roommate and his brother were watching the third one, like, since it just came out or whatever. And they were talking about how like the third one got so much more gory and
Oh yeah.
brutal. And yeah, but yeah, it was kind of basic gore to me. That
Yeah.
stuff doesn't really make me do much. But I was like, I've never watched the Terrifier stuff. I've seen a lot of shit about Art the Clown,
Yeah.
and it's on Amazon Prime, which we have access to with ads for it. And I was like, I guess I can watch it. So me and my roommate watched it, watched all three. I liked them. They were pretty
Yeah.
good. I like the fact that it actually has a story and like a lot of like homages to like horror movies before that, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Also, the fact that the dude started the first one with I think it was like a 35,000 to a $50,000 budget
Yeah. It's pretty small budget.
and grossed like 400 something thousand.
Yeah.
And then the second one, he did it with the budget of 200 something thousand
Yeah.
and it made $15 million.
Yep.
And then he took only 2 mil to make the third one, which has now grossed over 80 million.
Yep. Yeah.
The
He slowly
dude,
worked his way up there. Yeah. Mhm.
yeah, the dude is doing fucking phenomenal. Respect. And the fact that he was actually wasn't even a director. He's a props and graphic design guy or whatever for movies.
Yeah, if I don't know a whole lot about his personal life, but like I do know he was like really interested in like horror movies, and he made all these independent films back in the day. And Art the Clown actually originally started with a little
Yeah, shorts.
yeah, the All Hallows Eve little
Yep.
short. Well, he took that short and then he combined it into that movie. And then he decided
Yeah.
he liked that character, so that's when he made the full movie of Terrifier all around him. So,
Yeah,
but,
because the original stuff is Terrifier. Art the Clown is taking people for the cult.
yeah, Terrifier. The
Now,
first Terrifier movie. I don't know anything about the third one because I haven't seen it. But the first
yeah.
Terrifier movie is yeah, it's a simple story, but it's pretty good. It does what it's supposed to. The second story is really good, but it's also really weird. It's like something out of a horror movie meets a really weird superhero movie or something. I don't even know how else to explain it. So
Well, it feels to me just like an homage to some of the stuff with
yeah,
Halloween and Friday the 13th.
yeah,
Like don't, he run into the girl with psychic powers. And then this one is just, kids who's got some sensitivity, some kind of sixth sense sensitivity. And their dad had visions because of a tumor that developed. And he saw everything that was going to happen, which is all explained more in three. So I'm not gonna. And the sword that he bought her was meant to protect her from Art the Clown and the Pale Girl.
yeah,
Like you find out, theory that we have is the sword can never actually harm her permanently. She'll always heal from whatever the sword is used on her. So like basically if gets the sword like he did in the second one and stabs her, it actually can't kill her.
yeah,
And yeah, the third one is good. Now the problem I have with the third one, which I will say without spoilers. Is there are two off-screen deaths that shouldn't be off-screen.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Also, I will say if you have anything against children being killed in horror movies, if you are one of the people that think that's taboo, don't watch it.
Yeah.
Because
There's very few slasher movies that do that, but a couple of them will. They'll go that far. So mm,
yeah, and Terrifier 3 goes that far
yeah, it doesn't
on
surprise me
multiple
that
occasions.
Terrifier does it. So because that those movies have always really. It is fair to say those movies have a very stylized type of gore that it does. I mean, it's not like it's aiming for realism. It's has a very stylized kind of feel to it, but it is very gory. Those movies are.
Yeah. But I mean, me and my roommate was trying to discuss that like I had to like remind him like, hey, I'm not talking shit about the movie because I actually really fucking like him. Art
Yeah,
the Clown is definitely going to have to be a new icon of horror, which he's been confirmed to become into Dead by Daylight. So anyone that listens that plays Dead by Daylight, Art the Clown is coming to your game. Um, but I was like, it's not even the goriest and most brutal thing I've seen though in horror.
yeah,
Like, and I was trying to explain, I'm like, dude, I watch B-rated fucking horror films all the damn time. And those guys literally use that stuff for their shock value because they're not good writing a script.
yeah,
So they focus on shock value and brutality to uh attract the attention. Plus, I watch Japanese horror movies. Those things are fucked because Japan has less like restrictions and taboo thoughts on horror movies than America.
yeah,
So I really do like I really of course, then we get Human Centipede. Like, yeah. And then you got movies like Hostel. Brutality in horror movies isn't a new thing. But now art style and the way he kills things, that's what sets him apart.
yeah,
Also, me and my roommate has a theory from the second one on, since he's undead, well, since he's possessed or whatever by the demon, kept alive by it. Uh, that he has the that because you notice in the second one, a lot of his villains he can keep them alive even while they shouldn't actually be dead. And we theorize it's because of the demonic powers, the demonicness of them now, able to keep a person living longer for him to torture them longer if he wants to. Like he did the friend in her house. I see what I'm talking about.
yeah. It's been a while, but yeah,
Yeah, the one with the girl, she's still alive when her mom comes back into the room.
yeah,
And even though he was cutting on her, she half her face is gone. Like spots on her legs where there's major arteries were all cut up. But yeah, and her arm was literally torn off and her hand was split. Like she should have been dead. So we theorize he's able to keep people alive longer just when he wants to.
yeah.
But
Mm.
but overall though, like I liked them. They're
Yeah.
good movies. I can see why it's got a cult following already, and can't wait to see what he does next with with the character.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Oh, excuse me, jeez.
Like, how long will he stay this brutal level? Will he keep increasing? Will he eventually hit a plateau where even his brain's like, you know what? No, that's a little too fucked up. Because that's the problem with some of these horror movie directors that start out like this. They keep, the first few films are like constantly building up that brutality of the character and the gruesomeness of the death, and then later installments of the franchise, it just gets less. Like even in Halloween and Friday the 13th, the kills become quicker, less drawn out.
Yeah.
Even Freddy's kills become less drawn out too. Like that motherfucker had some brutal ways of killing people. I guess it's just the human mind. We can only go so brutal before we're like, this script is a little too fucked even for me. Let's try this again.
I think what makes Freddy's kills a bit more unique is he spends so much time scaring his victim before he actually kills them. So, because that's kind of the whole point of Freddy. So
Yeah,
he really takes his
yeah.
time up until the actual kill part. Michael, he spends more time after the kill kind of having fun. So like he'll kill the person and then he like plays around with the body a little bit. So and then, well,
And then you got
Jason,
Jason who just
he,
does
he just
whatever.
kill. Yeah, he's kind of play it by ear kind of killer. He uses tools that are handy nearby, and then yeah, and he just rolls with it. So
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, art feels like a nod to those three because you have he'll use anything around him, like Jason.
yeah,
You have the stalker not talking, demonic possession after being dead, like the one timeline of Michael. Same with Freddy in a sense, but he also uses fear tactics like Freddy does. Like he took the aspect of how those three kill and stalk and stuff and
yeah.
made Art the clown. So I'm just like I said, I guarantee you one of these days he'll either become one of the new legends or he'll fade from obscurity. Just be a little fan cult following guy.
He's already kind of working his way up there. I see references to him on social media all the time.
Yep.
So he's not as obviously not as big as like, the big ones, but he's kind of climbing his way up there. So, mm,
He's kind of, he's stacking those bodies, heading on up.
yeah. Stacking those bodies. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember thinking what his, I lost count of his kill count, though. I was actually keeping up with how many kills he got his three films. Uh,
I guess while we're on slasher movies, a few weeks ago I did watch Scream 7 because apparently Scream 7's a bit of a
oh,
uh
how was that?
huh? What'd you say?
I said, how was that? How was it?
Oh, apparently it's a bit of a split opinion kind of movie, which
Can you not hear me?
it's fair to say the last three movies have kind of bit of already been a bit of a split opinion, but this one's probably the most split of the three. And I'm on the fence that I loved it. I loved the movie. In fact, it's probably my favorite one since the fourth one. So, and but people are very on the opposite end. So, some people are saying it feels very generic to them, and I'm like, yeah, there's some moments that are like that. But the funny thing is some of the moment, obviously, I won't say what it is because the movie's still new, and I know you haven't seen it, but there's some of the moments like that they're describing that they don't like or they feel like is generic. It's some of the same stuff that you find in Scream 2 that some of these people will praise for. And I'm like, yeah, but that's also in Scream 2. I guess it is fair to say that Scream 2 came first, obviously, but it's just like I don't know if it's fully fair to say that you'd think this is
Yeah.
bad here, but it's good there somehow. I don't know. So just my opinion. So also interesting thing. Apparently, more and more people are praising Scream 3 now. That movie used to get a lot more hate, but now it's getting a little bit more praise. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. So
Always mentioned I hate fandoms and shit
yeah. Which they've already, from my
because
understanding, they've already greenlit an eighth one, and so it's probably going to just be one of those movie series now, where like every 1 or 2 years there's going to be another Scream movie. So
as long as the ratings keep, as long as they keep doing
yeah,
good.
as long as that money keeps rolling in. Like I know some people on Reddit were like, I just don't understand why they're doing. I'm like, because money. That's why. Yeah.
Hmm.
I was like, they followed the
Like
money. I was
also,
like, what do you not understand about this? Yeah, it's not that difficult.
also these fans are like they're making the franchise too big. There's too many movies or whatever.
Yeah.
And at the same time, they'll start bitching if when there's not no movies. Like, look at Friday the 13th. There's so fucking many movies.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, only so handful of them are good. The rest, they should have stopped at this point. And but now they're bitching because there's not more stuff because of all the lawsuit problems and this
Yeah.
and that shit.
Now they want more. Yeah. Yeah. You can't
Like,
please everybody. You're just gonna have to just do what you roll with it and do what you can. Yeah. Me, like I said, I have no problem with them continuing to make Scream movies. Like I said, my counter argument is always if you don't like the newer ones, you don't have to watch them. You just if you're one of those people that only like the first three or the first four or whatever, then you just keep watching those. So
yeah,
and you watch those again and you kind of ignore the new ones. That's my argument. So
yeah. I've always been a very big advocate for if you don't like it, don't watch it.
yeah.
And I mean, that's how I am. If I don't like a movie, I won't ever watch it again. I won't talk about it. If somebody asks me my opinion, I'll be like, yeah, well, I didn't really like it. This was my issue with it. It wasn't for me, man. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not gonna go on social media and be like, not gonna review bomb a fucking film. I don't even give my opinion on views on the internet
Yeah,
on films and stuff around now on the podcast.
right. You don't go
But
out of
that's
your way to do it. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I don't have problems with people voicing their opinion. It's just like sometimes I don't think they're thinking about what they're saying. So like some of the stuff they were saying about the movie, I was like, that's fine if you didn't like that, but it's also fair to say some of that stuff they were saying is also in two that they were given praise for. So it's like, yeah, I don't know.
yeah.
But so I just found
Well,
that kind of funny.
a lot of it since for me and where I'm like, I don't give a fuck about your opinions unless I ask,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to the internet. Like if I'm specifically looking up somebody's opinions on it, yeah. And most of that's because anytime I try to see anybody's review on something or anything like that, you know, they're either fucking stupid, over the top, making everything look like it's horrible. And then I
Yeah.
watch the film like, you're fucking stupid. This, and this that you said was completely wrong. You missed this point, this point, this point, and that point. It's like I watched Tron Ares.
Yeah.
I don't know if I mentioned it on the podcast last time. And I was pissed off the way that how people reacted to it
Yeah.
because it's actually, in my opinion, a good film.
Yeah, I like prawn.
Well, like I was looking up like
prawn airs. Yeah.
I was like, why are people having problems with Drawn Aries? I was
Hmm.
trying to. I'm looking up, looking at people's reviews. Now I want to know people's opinion
Yeah. Oh,
to
I do
see
the same thing.
why.
Yeah.
And because especially if I like a film, I'm going to look on the internet to see why the public. Maybe I'm
Yeah.
just an outlier. Maybe I'm just whatever.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Some of it's
But
curiosity. I'm like, well, maybe I'm missing something, kind of attitude. But yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
and because I'm now looking for it, I want to. But if I don't want to know, I don't want it on my face from social media and this and that.
Yeah.
But it, a lot of it sent down to people said, "Oh, it didn't get because it didn't continue with from Legacy. Oh, it abandoned the Legacy characters and everything that came before it with the original Tron." And
Yeah.
oh, Jared Leto, Jared Leto, Jared
Yeah, I
Leto,
heard a lot of
Jared
that
Leto.
complaining about Jared. Yeah. Yeah.
For one, shut the fuck up. You're just mad that he's got more fucking talent beyond his fucking little pinky finger.
Hey, I'm not the biggest Jared Leto fan, but I thought he did a great job in the movie. So,
Two,
yeah.
the dude
Hmm.
just likes to go make movies, music, and
Yeah.
live his fucking religious life that he has.
Yeah.
Three, you're just mad because you ain't famous. Four, get the fuck over yourself. Uh, five, one of the biggest comments was he was what he his acting style is too stiff. What's not supposed to be stiff about a program finally learning how to be human? Everyone who plays a machine in movies is stiff. Are you going to say Arnold Schwarzenegger is stiff as a Terminator? That his acting was stiff because he was playing a robot?
Of course, they're not going to say that. Yeah. Hmm.
And the whole legacy character thing. For one, they mentioned what happened after Legacies. Two, Flynn makes a return as the one who gave the permanence code to Ares in, may I add, the retro redone version of from the original style movie, even along with the yellow light cycle. And where did he escape through on that the light cycle arena? The hole that was made in the previous movies.
Yeah.
Oh, then spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't watched it. Then at the end, after he's human and they win, he is shown to literally be looking at coordinates of the last known location, apparently, or whatever, of the system, the female system chick that left the oh fuck, left the grid with Finn's son. So there's another harking back to her. Oh, and the main villain of that story, the one who made Ares, escapes to the grid of his version of the grid and grabs the master control disc of the main villain from the first one, and his armor started materializing over him, setting up that the next villain is going to be the original villain.
Yeah.
So, and then he's gonna go find the chick and Finn, little Finn, I'm gonna call him because he's the son. So eventually, Ares is gonna have to go back into the system with those two, probably to fight the villain that Finn's dad had to fight alongside Tron in the original movie. Don't tell me this abandoned the things that came before it. That's why I don't like typically listen to people's comments because half the time it's just stupid nonsense like that. They don't like it because it's not what they envisioned the next movie to be. They don't like it because they don't like an actor for some stupid reasons. Oh wow, he played weird pranks on his castmates when he was playing the Joker to stay in headspace. He apologized. People try to say he was a fucking pedophile, which was proven false. The same person that called him a pedophile also had to apologize and get because he got in trouble for jokes about pedophilia on his social media. I'm looking at you, James Gunn. But everyone's forgave James Gunn, and he actually did it. He actually made those jokes, those comments. All I'm saying is people make mistakes. His mistakes didn't harm anyone. But yeah, he gets the biggest shit in Hollywood right now for some fucking reason. So while I was waiting for you to reload things, apparently the video of you talking about Wayward Realms has gotten to 43 views
Yep.
on YouTube, anyways. I don't know on Spotify. I didn't check. How many listens? Yeah,
Yes.
maybe we need to get more gaming content, apparently, of new games.
I know, right? I think it's fair to say kind of what happened with that one is that is a very it is a game that a fair amount of RPG gamers, particularly old school RPG gamers, are like looking forward to. So it's just kind of like they're adamantly out
Yeah.
on YouTube looking for content, more information about this stuff. So I think as soon as they saw the title Wayward Realms, they're like, oh, let's listen to this and see what they have to say, kind of thing. So speaking of the Wayward Realms, there is a couple of
Yeah.
more things I kind of wanted to comment on. Uh, one thing I was listening to because they have the Wayward Radio podcast thing that they do where they give like minor updates and stuff. They don't really show anything, but they like talk about stuff. And
Hmm.
it's not quite the same as like a devlog, their devlog videos where they're actually showing stuff. And but um Ted Peterson, the leader of the project, he talked about how it's like he commented on something that I've been thinking about myself, where he keeps saying it's like, yeah, people keep referring to this game as like like the new, because they were like, would you consider this to be like your Elder Scrolls 3, like what Elder Scrolls 3 would have been if, it hadn't been Morrowind and y'all, the original people wouldn't have left? And he was just like, kind of yes and no. He was just like, I feel like it's kind of gone beyond what the Elder Scrolls 3 would have been. But yeah, he was like, in some context, yeah. And
I mean, yeah, because the basic thought process there, but the technology they're using wouldn't have been.
yeah, and that's pretty much what he said. A lot of it, yeah, technological stuff that we can do now that we even in the early, obviously in the early 2000s, we wouldn't have been able to do. And he was talking about, he was like, I see so many things online or on YouTube about people putting like, oh, this is going to be the game that, it's going to be destroy the Elder Scrolls series or whatever. He was just like, yeah, he was like, I feel like people are, he was like, I'm not sure about all that. And I was just like, yeah, that kind of, there's something I've been kind of thinking about. Like I see videos on YouTube like people talk about the Wayward Realms might be the Skyrim killer or something like that. And I kind of wish people wouldn't give it that title because I think it's going to give particularly more mainstream gamers that may not know a lot about Daggerfall or may not know much about it at all. And misunderstand what the Wayward Realms is and wasn't what it isn't, or at least what it's going to be when it comes out. I mean, obviously I haven't played the game yet because it hasn't come out, but I'm pretty familiar with the project because I've followed it pretty closely. And this is people need to realize that the Wayward Realms is not like going to be like Skyrim, but a bigger map. Like it's not going for the same things that Morrowind, Oblivion, and Skyrim. It's like I said, those games really is sort of did a reset button when it came to the series. Like they had came forward with new ideas and kind of took the series in a new direction that Daggerfall was never going for, and never and it was very obvious if they would have made it
Hmm.
like Elder Scrolls 3 be an actual sequel to, like, mechanic wise, an actual sequel to Daggerfall. Like it would have not the series would have not have turned out that way. And like I said, I have no problem, with those games. I think they're really fun games, but like I said, that's not what those games are. And I think people are gonna have this idea that it's gonna be like they're thinking of it as like, oh, it's gonna be a Skyrim, but like with a bigger map and a lot more side quests and stuff. And I'm like, don't expect Skyrim, okay? It's like I feel like there's going to be so many gamers that play the Wayward Realms, and then they're going to just like get mad about what it is because it's not what they expected, and then they're going to jump online and start giving a bunch of bad reviews, kind of like what we just talked about with some of the slasher movies that people get online and start complaining about
Yeah.
because it's not what they expected it to be. And I'm like, so that's why when people use those video titles or talk about that kind of stuff, I was like, I kind of wish they would be careful with the way they worded things, because it's like it's going to make people misunderstand like what the game is. And I'm like, this is not
They're doing it for
a modern
clickbait.
day Elder Scrolls game, so that's not what this is. So
Yeah, they're doing it for clickbait. And like,
yeah.
as we talked about in the last episode, there's problems we had with the changes to Elder Scrolls from Morrowind and Skyrim, and less on Oblivion, honestly, in my opinion. But um, they're using that shit like the clickbait. And it's stupid. It's like you said, yeah, it's gonna make people misjudge the game unless they do their own further research and not just take what the thumbnails say at face value.
Yeah.
But um, given that though, a lot of people that have gotten into Skyrim as their first Elder Scrolls games
Yeah.
have went backwards.
I've seen a lot of people talk about that, where they started with Skyrim and then slowly worked their way backwards. So
Yeah, so I mean, and that's what's interesting about the day and age now, all of a sudden. Like things were getting weird there for a while with the next generations and this and that of any kind of fandom. And then now all of a sudden we have these kids that are going and watching even like if you take even anime or TV show movies, they're going backwards to watch what came before, what inspired that, or whatever their favorite stuff. I mean, even music genre has been doing that lately. There's been a resurgence of like 60s, 70s, and all that.
yeah.
And so when it comes to the gaming community, a lot of young gamers are finally being like, "Well, I really like this one. I know it's number five. What about four, three, two, one, and whatever else is in that universe?" And it's funny though, like I know people that only their first encounter to Elder Scrolls is ESO, so it's like a complete cult different shock to them when they try the other game.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that's because game mechanics change so much.
Yeah. And it's also, the obviously the early games came out in a completely different time when it with RPGs. Developers just had completely different ideas and different you know, just ideas about what they wanted a video game type style RPG to be, and versus today
Yeah,
what they want them, a lot of developers want them to be today. And that's kind of the point of this company. They're going back to the 80s, the 90s, and kind of picking up, that's why they're called once lost games, picking up the things that were sort of left behind and bringing it into the modern day era. That's what the Wayward Realms is. That's the easiest way to kind of explain what the Wayward Realms
yeah,
is. So
yeah. I mean, and it's the same concept as like we were mentioning earlier with the whole horror movies and movies in general, and people like this has this many of the games, or they won't like this, or whatever. And it's done it enough over the years that yeah, there is a lot of game mechanics that were left in the early 2000s, the 90s, all further back that were really good game mechanics, but they were brand new in that era. But that game gets such a bad rep, so people didn't build upon that. So a game company going back and taking some old stuff that should have been built upon because maybe that wasn't the problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's gonna be interesting to see. And I hope more companies start implementing that. Like, oh, okay, let's look at these old games that failed. What failed about them? Because this mechanic was brand new and really hasn't been touched since.
Yeah.
Why don't we try using that mechanic in a style game that we know people like?
Yeah.
Because like right now, I'm fucking excited for the announcement of Echoes of Aincrad, I think it's called, which is a Sword Art Online video game from the anime. It's
Oh
the video
yeah, I
game
remember
of
you
the video
talking
game
about
in
that.
the anime,
Yeah.
and it's utilizing a lot of RPG systems that got me big. Like, I mean, it's all 104 supposedly of Aincrad. You're creating your own character. You're living your own SAO. So I'm hoping that they've taken some inspiration from other RPGs in the past and stuff because this can be I mean, this one with Wayward Realms. I mean, these can be massive, massive games, especially in the RPG community
Yeah.
that honestly has been dying, in my opinion.
Yeah, I
Because like,
mean, I love the era of like these style of RPGs we've been getting the last like I don't know, like 15 years or so, and they've just been slowly improving up on that same style of game and stuff like that. But it's maybe it's run its course, and that's why I'm so excited for the Wayward Realms because it's bringing something new to the table. And I mean, other people may feel like it's not run its course, though. Maybe obviously more games like that are going to continue to come out in the AAA gaming community. And I have no problem with that. But I just feel like maybe it's getting a little old, and it would be fun if some new ideas were introduced. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to it to see what
yeah,
the
because
yeah what
I
the
mean,
Wayward Realms may hopefully start for other games, other indie
hmm
games and AAA games alike.
because the thing is, if Wayward Realm comes out and it does great, and it's shown like, hey, we did this new stuff, but on the foundation of this old mechanic, this old mechanic, this old mechanic that's not touched anymore, that's not really fucked with, it might become a resurgence for older games that had special mechanics that no one's touched since then.
Yeah,
Because like one thing I could think of is for sure that's rarely touched upon anymore. And correct me if I'm wrong, anyone or you. Uh, the morality system.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I miss, talking about games like Infamous and, in the early 2000s, 2010s. The mechanics of having a world that reacts to you. I mean, the new Fable's bringing the system back and upgrading it to where it's not an actual hero or villain system where you don't morph, but the NPCs around you react to what you did or how you do things. These systems are considered at the time was considered the best part about some of these games,
yeah,
but the rest of the game just failed and no one touched those systems. And they honestly need to be touched on because it makes the world feel bigger in a sense in some aspects. Like uh, with Wayward Realm, you talk about how the NPCs work and how the quests are being built. And then we talk about the new Fable game with how again NPCs will react to you. About the mechanics of this game, the Fables before are being re-implemented and upgraded and updated. Then, you know, I don't know. I nerd out when old stuff is reinvented again
yeah,
because they say
yeah,
you can't reinvent the wheel. well, yeah, you don't reinvent it, but you build upon
Yeah. One thing I'm really excited is really when it comes to the character creator system for the Wayward Realms will be really cool, and not just the look of your character and all that stuff. Because obviously over the years, they've games have really fleshed that out a lot and stuff like that, and
it.
that's
Yeah,
definitely gotten better. But when it comes to like your stats and stuff like that, because so many RPGs, they always stick to the basics where it's like, oh, you can make your attack stronger or weaker,
yeah.
depending on what kind of character you're playing. If you're playing a mage, obviously it makes sense that their attack, their strength maybe be a lower, or if you're playing, and that kind of stuff. But with
Hmm.
Daggerfall, they really added a lot of new elements, and you could take it so much further. And I'm excited to see where the Wayward Realms takes it, where they did more than just like, oh, your strength and your magic and all this stuff can be up or down based on what kind of character you're playing. They even had like phobias in the game where you can make your character
Yeah.
scared of certain types of enemies, and you could take, like I said, you could take this system like or make them to where they don't like certain places or they do like certain places, and then give you buffs and debuffs based on those decisions. And
Oh
you
yeah,
could
there's
take
a
that so much further, and that's why I'm so excited to see like where in the character creator, like where the Wayward Realms will go, like, and how
I
more in depth it could be.
yeah. I hope they end up taking inspiration for another game since they're doing something like that because there's a game, I don't remember what it's fucking called. Shit, there's two of them. Fuck. Uh, but it's a space game. I'm trying to remember it.
What are you Googling it?
Uh, I'm trying to.
Yeah.
If I had if I had my Wi-Fi, I would pull up my Xbox and actually just go through it. But and but like my roommate, he's playing it. His character developed because of the way he interacted with the world and was fighting robots. He develops a hatred of robots. His character just naturally developed it,
Yeah.
and it gives you different buffs or debuffs. Specifically, he's a lot better. I think it's Outer Wilds.
Outer Wild.
Yeah, maybe. Like I said, my brain is not working today for damn sure.
Yeah. I really,
Uh,
I like stuff like that because it leans so much more into the role. Of course, there's some of those things you can always rely on your own imagination to kind of
that's
make
not Outer
that stuff work.
Wilds.
But it's fun when the stats really lean into that imagination that you're
Yeah,
creating for your character, and it
because
complements those things. So,
because if you wanted, because it makes your gameplay a lot better, in my opinion, your role play and your character. Because in that game, again, you decide you just want to be a guy that hates robots. Well, now you can actively kill enough robots to get a buff for your character against robots because he will naturally develop an aggression towards robots.
yeah,
So your character will develop like as you develop your own roles. And they also in that game, your characters will develop a preference towards certain weapons that you use the most
yeah.
and
Yeah,
get
there's definitely,
buffed
like I
based on
said, you
that.
could really take that idea of that type of character creator and really run with it and make it very in depth.
Yeah.
So I'm trying my best. I'm not the best programmer though. I'm trying my best to introduce some of those ideas in my game, some of my game I'm working on now, and of course in future games as well. But mine, I can only really go so in depth with it because, like I said, I'm not the greatest programmer. But definitely trying to bring more and more into that, system of really leaning into that role playing experience. So because I love it. So.
Yeah. Like And I love how we're talking about this, considering the last episode, which is now titled Fake Sky.
Fake Sky. Yeah, I titled that. I had no idea what to title that last episode, and I was originally the original. It's better than the original title because the original title I was literally just going to call it "I don't know" because I had no idea what to title it, and so I was like, but then at the last minute, I was like, well, I talked about how I didn't know certain mechanics about Skyrim, and even though I've played that game for years, and so I just randomly just decided to call it "I'm a fake Skyrim fan." So just as a joke, really.
Correction, he's the fake Skyrim fan, not
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
I actually love Skyrim, but
I
I have
do
my
love
problems
Skyrim, but I didn't know about that mechanic. So, but again, like I said in the
with
episode, in my defense, I don't typically do
it.
guild or faction quest all that much. So, and I'm also not one of those people that watch like tons of gameplay online or what read like I'm not going to the unofficial Elder Scrolls pages.com that much and like reading unless I'm looking for something specific, like reading stuff about mechanics or whatever.
I
So,
think the
um,
only other time that I might end up buying Skyrim again is if I ever get a VR for the Skyrim VR stuff, because there's actually a mod that uses AI to start controlling uh the NPCs.
oh really?
And I was watching a YouTuber I watch all the time, Krusty, just doing it. He does a crazy character that has, split personality or whatever, and
Hmm.
he's half, and the other personality is very violent. And as he's talking to himself, the AI started voicing like, "Why are you interrupting yourself?" And he just looks at it like, uh, like it will respond to how you're talking to it. I'm like, I kind of like that. That'd be fun as hell. So like with the Wayward Realms doing stuff, doing that, and same with Fate, the new Fable. I'm like, that's getting me excited. I have 4 games now I'm excited for, and I'm loving it.
Oh
Echoes of
man.
Aincrad, Wayward Realms, the new Fable, and
Yeah.
Light No Fire.
Yeah, I definitely want to play Light No Fire and obviously Wayward Realms. And I World of Interia is another game that I'm really excited for. This game is sort of like a 2D, top-down 2D version of Skyrim, so or at least it
Hmm.
looks that way. So I'm interested in this one as well. So, but it takes some of the elements from one of my favorite 90s RPGs, Ultima 7,
Yeah.
and it adds some of those. And I even talked to the developers a little bit about it too, like a year ago or so. And I was just like, this game, like some of the mechanics in this game reminds me of Ultima 7. And I was like, was that an inspiration for y'all? And they were like, oh yeah, definitely. We love that game. So and so I was like, yeah, I could tell. I was like, it reminds me of that.
Uh, yeah, hopefully gaming comes back big, because it was honestly in my this is my personal opinion on gaming, is it got a little bit too much, especially towards like doing like third person shooter royale games,
Yeah.
because there's one every fucking year it seems like, of some kind. And it's bad to say for me, because like I love survival games, but they're becoming like overly flooding the market with survival games.
Yeah.
Even horror games seem to be over flooding the market. I'm like,
Yeah,
we
I've
need
noticed
something
horror
fresh.
games are definitely making a well, I mean, I guess they never really went anywhere, but they're making a huge comeback in more of the mainstream. I guess I should probably specify
Yeah,
that.
but some of the horror games that are coming out now that I've seen, they're looking like they're trying to actually develop further, because like for the longest time there, I think it's like probably 2015 to 2020, maybe a little bit between 2020 and now. A lot of the horror games that are coming out were this almost the same thing, just reskin. You had a
Yeah.
few outliers, like of course the Resident Evil games, the Silent Hill games,
Yeah.
but the only other ones that were like outliers and oh my God, these are fucking horrifying. They're good. Were a lot of times just the Japanese horror games that came out. And then, of course, you had stuff like the smaller company that did like a morgue, I think it's called, because you work in a morgue and it's a haunted morgue. That one was cool. I'm like, all right, that's an outlier. That one I liked. But again, that's only for PC. So unless you're a PC gamer, you don't get to mess with that. But again, on PC with Steam, there are some hidden gems in the horror community. There's some hidden gems in the survival one, but everything's starting to become a copy paste. But
Yeah.
then you get some games that are now coming out, the big titles again, like Wayward Realm, Fable, and I'm hoping I'm gonna have to look into more on Echoes of Aincrad and see what I can find before next episode and see how it's doing. I'm hoping they have expanded upon other RPG stuff because the SAO world, especially just for the Aincrad game, um, has so much potential. Like I've seen people that are trying to do SAO and Aincrad stuff on Roblox, and some of them are good. Most are not that good. So there's a lot of stuff they could do in a fantasy world that has, for one, no magic. There's no because unless they decide to alter that, but no, in the anime, it is an RPG that came out, and it was even made to talk about that it's a big deal in the world, the Sword Art Online world, that it's coming out with no magic classes. It's all sword skill combat.
Oh wow.
It's all weapon skill combat. So like I hope they lean heavily into that.
Yeah.
And I mean and I hope that if you can get it, but that it's a tough skill to get because it was in the system, but it was only given to Kirito by uh the main villain of the season of that season, and that's the dual wield skill.
Hmm.
And he's the only one that got it. And it was because he was impressed by him, so he gave him that skill because he was like, this might be the one that actually gets to beat me. Which I mean, yeah, he is in the end, but I just love it. Also, that game, that world has so many like sword and shield style combat, so you can actually because that's another problem I have with a lot of games is you can do sword and shield, but the shield is typically just block bash. There's not a lot of typically shield and sword combos. They
Yeah.
always feel stiff when you're trying to build a sword and shielder. Skyrim's bad about that too. So I'm just heavily curious on how they're going to work that. So I mean, it
I
might be a perfect game for you because you don't really like playing Magic classes.
typically no. There's been times where I will create a character that has magic elements kind of added to them. But yeah, I usually never go full on like magic. So it's just not my preference personally. So
Yeah. And if they again, like I said, they don't break the lore
yeah.
and add magic. Here's a game that's specifically no magic. So
Yeah.
everyone you face against will only be with weapons. You're not going to
Yes,
run into
when you were
somebody.
talking about it a little bit the other day, it sounded interesting. Of course, anyone who knows me knows that I'm obsessed with dungeon crawling. So, and
Yeah.
I could
In fact, that
literally
you
like,
go up the
yeah,
floors to the
yeah,
final. If the final floor is a castle where the king of Aincrad is, that you got he's supposed to be the final boss.
yeah,
And I do hope it works very much if you cannot go to the next floor until you beat the dungeon boss. And I also hope they keep the safe floors because there's floors that we've seen in the anime that is where most of the NPCs live, and they're
Yeah.
safe floors.
Hmm.
And they're also inside inside those towns. There's no PvP is automatically turned off. You can't die in those areas. But once you leave them out in the wilds, then PvP is able to be done. Which in that world, of course, killing someone meant killing them when they're alive, so you're actually a murderer. I kind of hope they take the inspiration of it because when you kill someone, a couple people, your icon will go from green to orange. And then if you're straight up like members of Laughing Coffin who killed tons of people, it becomes red. So they're red players. I hope they implement that in the game. Yeah, that if you do a lot of PvP and you're killing a lot of people, your icon turns red eventually,
Yeah.
showing that you're a red player that you like to kill other players' characters.
Yeah.
I hope that's implemented because that would be such a small detail that would be so fucking great to the game. Because I mean, you see somebody come towards you, and you see a red icon above their head. You know what's probably going to happen.
Yeah. Hostile. Yeah. Mm.
That person likes to kill people.
Yeah. He is a hostile person. Yeah.
But with that being said, uh, comment, like, subscribe, and all that jazz, and comment down below. What games are you excited for? What past mechanic that is rarely used, if at all, that was really good that needs to come back in a new type of game? And we'll, I guess, talk to you in the next one. Bye.
Welcome to the city where chaos thrives. Kevin and Eric keep people alive. Random talks and stories collide. Bar City Anthem, let's take a ride. Bar City, the place to be. Laughs and madness, wild and free. Tune in now, let the good vibes flow. Bar City, your favorite show. Guitars, drum and synths ignite. Jokes and banter, morning or night. From the weird to the totally bizarre. Bar City legends shining like a star. Bar City, the place to be. Laughs and madness, wild and free. Tune in now, let the good vibes flow. Bar City, your favorite show. Guitars, drum and synths ignite. Jokes and banter, morning or night. From the weird to the totally bizarre. Bar City legends shining like a star. Bar City, the place to be. Laughs and madness, wild and free. Tune in now, let the good vibes flow. Bar City, your favorite show. Eric drops a pun.